Welcome in. It's Brandy with Tribal Awakening. Some people call me brandinimojo. It's however it resonates with you guys. I'm cool with it either way. So, Divine Feminine presents The Naked Truth tonight, guys. This is episode 4, and I have titled the name of this video, You Are the Flower of Life. The very first card that I got, well, the overall energy from Isis Oracles that I pulled 2 energy cards, because it seems that I'm feeling a lot of 2 energy and a lot of 4 energies. 2 and 4 energies are very closely related to each other. There might actually be angel numbers for, you guys in those messages. So I just wanted to, just put that out there right quick. Okay, so what we have in the overall energy for the Divine Feminine read is we got the Flower of Life. And it says, you're entering fertile period of your life. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and surrender your control over how things will manifest, and instead allow them to do so. Do not resist change. Instead, go with the flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. Okay, so that's in the overall energy for the Divine Feminines. The Divine Feminines are in a blossoming stage. Now is a very fertile period in the Divine Feminine's life, okay? A lot of us are being guided to think for ourselves as creative beings. We are definitely needing to surrender our control over how things are going to manifest and instead just allow them to, okay? Because we've already put our wish fulfillments out there. We need to trust in the divine to actually make those visions manifest now, because if we hold on too tightly for that, then that can create more stagnant energy. So we're being truly guided by the divine at this time, to release our control issues. It's a major thing. Okay, first out the deck we had, just like the Divine Masculine, the energy of the cartouche, which is choosing to release that which would lower the vibration into fear, coming back to love, staying true to yourself, and you shall inspire others to think. You shall inspire others to think or speak more positively when they are around you. Invoking the power of speech and words for your strength, protection, and spiritual growth will be effective for you. The second card out, we had Ancient Power Mysteries. The oracle guides you to honor the power of your voice, whether through spoken or sung words, or through what you write, speak about, or stand for symbolically. You've potentially very powerful healing voice. You're guided to recognize the responsibility that you have for what you proclaim through your voice. So, Divine Feminine has a very powerful voice and a very powerful energy to manifest change, healing, and it's time that Divine Feminines recognize that we have this responsibility, not only to ourselves but to the people around. This is also that energy where, just like the Divine Masculines, the Divine Feminines really need to release that which lowers the vibration, okay, into fear. This is very home, because we have the threat of the coronavirus, or we have the threat of war, we have the threat of famine, we have the threat of this and that and this and that. But right now, for all of the collective, it's time to release that which we fear, okay? A lot of that which we fear is actually creating blockages for us moving into our power, moving into our responsibilities and positivity. It's hard to stay positive in times like that, where, you're fearing everything. Our power of speech, invoking the power of speech, especially for the Divine Feminine right now, there are strength in your words, protection and growth. And those things for you right now are very effective for how you guys need to move through this energy right now. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this reading for you guys. I'm just going to set those over here. I really need to get some card stands. Maybe that'll be my next thing on the to-do list, guys. But anyway, I'm going to jump into the Divine Counterparts and Separation deck. If you guys could energetically send our Made for Love, the creator of these cards, love and light and healing right now. I hear that she's been under the weather lately. I'm really hoping and sending a shout out to Made for Love, hoping that she gets better. I chose to kick off the readings of the Naked Truth with this deck because in all actuality, you know, divine masculine and divine feminine energies, they are completely separate, although we house both. And although that we, you know, have to utilize both energies in our lives. So the fact that they are separate is why I chose to kick off these readings with this card, with these cards, at least until the future whenever I create my own decks, which is in the making right now. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards one more time, jump right on into this and see where the Divine Feminines are at right now. See what's going on with this ancient power of mysteries and the flower of life. The Divine Feminine is the flower of life. Obviously. We wouldn't be able to be the flowers of life, though, without the masculines. We know that. Got to give the masculines some props, too. But anyway, this is not his video. This is the Divine Feminine presents the Naked Truth. So we're going to see what the Great Divine Feminine has in store for advice for those feminines that are stepping into their divinity and coming into their sacredness. So this would be the message. This would be messages for those of you guys that are truly on a divine mission. Okay. The Divine Feminine, like the energy of, I thought that there was a card that it talks about there are plenty. I thought that there were plenty of other fish in the sea. I really think that I'm having such a hard time with my words tonight, guys. And my daughter's making fun of me. Sorry. Like my daughter says, you guys love me though, right? Anyway. Okay, so the energy was popping out for the divine. Like I just kind of took a glimpse at the card. It says there are plenty of fish in the sea. I thought that there were plenty of fish in the sea. So maybe the Divine Feminine is in this energy where right now when it comes to love and relationships, you know, there's plenty of love to go around for everybody. There's plenty of fish in the sea out there. Maybe she's really not stressing so hard on the divine masculine connection at this point in time, which is a good thing. In that energy, though, you still have the flower of life where it says that, you know, be careful right now to hold too much control over things and how they're going to manifest. The Divine Feminine is really, really, really trying to release her control issues. And it's kind of funny that way because as a Divine Feminine, I've been struggling with this energy lately as well. You know, where I'm not focusing too much on the divine masculine. The divine feminines really aren't trying to focus on the divine masculine at this time because we do need to focus on ourselves. And we do kind of need to have the idea that there are plenty of fish in the sea and that, you know, we kind of need to be open-minded and open in our heart space right now. And for that energy to pop out while I'm shuffling, you know, just gives me the indication that the Divine Feminine is really, really trying to open up her heart space and release these control issues. You know, it's not like we want to sit there in this obsessive energy, you know, going, where's our Divine Masculine? You know, how much work do we really need to do on ourselves in order for our Divine Masculine to come in? But it's really not about that. It's really about how we're alchemizing our own lives right now in general, you know, and that's the truth of the matter. That's the naked truth of the matter here. Of course, we want to know, you know, especially for those of us that haven't come into our sacred union yet, you know, we're wondering when that's going to happen, you know, all of us do. But at the same time, we have to release our control issues about how it's going to come in. Whose face are we going to be seeing? Is it going to be somebody from our past? Is it going to be somebody that we've never met before? Like, fuck, right now at this point, Divine Feminines, we really don't know, do we? But at the same time, this is where we need to release those energies that no longer serve us anymore. The energies that are lower level, the energies that are keeping us stuck and stagnant. This could come into play for what I just spoke about releasing those control issues. Okay, so let's call in Spirit, the angels, masters, way showers, and guides. Source, please allow me to be a clear channel for the Divine Feminine Collective. Let's get down to the heart of the naked truth. What is going on in the world of the Divine Feminine right now, in these now moments? All right, I have one card. Divine Feminines. How is the Divine Feminine right now feeling? I don't know. I hear that song between Jasmine and Aladdin where they're, you know, on the magic carpet. They're having this magic carpet ride going on here. I see that because the world popped up. Sorry, I'm not trying to, you know, kind of ruin the reading and the surprise of the reading for you guys, but I kind of can't help but notice things. The Divine Feminine right now is kind of having a hard, you know, it's kind of hard for her not to notice things right now. The veil is extremely thin. Okay. The veil is extremely thin right now. We can feel all. We can see all. We can sponge all right now. That's no joke. Divine souls are very spongy kind of people. You know, we are empaths. We feel everything. And we're meant to. It's because we're starseeds, right? All right, overall energy for the Divine Feminine, we have the number 64, which equals to 10. It's about completion, guys. Rebirth. In the overall energy for the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine is going through a very serious rebirth right now. But she's blossoming. You see that lotus flower and how it says the flower of life, okay? At one point in Egyptian times, I do want to mention that at one point in Egyptian times in ancient Egypt, there was a specific genus of the lotus flower, which was the epicenter of the magical properties of flowers and herbal remedies at a point in time in ancient Egyptian life where the epicenter of, you know, their healing was this particular kind of lotus, which is not in existence anymore on this earth, according to my aunt, who is an anthropologist. You know, I did at one point have some questions about ancient civilizations, and that's what anthropology is about. My beloved Aunt Susie explained to me one time when I asked her about the original or the lotus flowers that were depicted in ancient Egyptian art, you know, when they talked about the lotus and how at one point, in one aspect, the lotus flower is an aphrodisiac. In another aspect, it did have some properties like mystical properties like mushrooms, ayahuasca, peyote, things that might, like opium even, to take a person down a more spiritual path. Now, I do know for a fact that, you know, pulling information from my past lives as an Egyptian in ancient times, this flower would be used for multiple different purposes, especially for people that were in priest or priestess hoods. Okay, they used this flower and its magical properties a lot in spiritual rituals. They also used to use this flower as a way to relax, kind of like how people, you know, may smoke marijuana today. But anyway, they considered this flower a gift from the divine. And because it had so many different properties to it, it could have the capability to heal. It could have the capability to take you on a more spiritual journey, ritual. And in a huge way, the feminine was directly connected to this flower. I'm also getting that feminines actually used to take the petals and crush them and wear certain flower pigments on their face, and this lotus was one of them as well. The colorations of the flower, they were used in certain pigments for makeup and to make the divine feminine beautiful. They would also extract the oils from the flower petals and anoint themselves in divine feminine rituals to Isis as well. So I get a lot from that card of rebirth, but this is what the divine feminine is really going through. She's going through a cycle of completion. And she's also beginning anew. She's beginning a new cycle. And it's looking like the cycle is very beautiful, but the divine feminine is ready to blossom at this point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to find out what's going on. Okay, so the divine feminine has also, the divine feminine in her current world right now, she's looking at the sin energy. This is also devil energy. It came out in the divine masculine read with the clarification to the influence of the angel cards. Okay, so the divine masculine is fighting his own demons, but we also have the divine feminine as well. This is a constant energy between twin flames. The twin flames battle these lower level energies to come into their divinity. And so this is a part of her world. This is going through these trials and tribulations of the 7 deadly sins and these particular energies of codependencies. It's been really, really hard over the divine feminine journey to release these energies so that her world can become clearer. Okay, because divine feminines have this struggle in their higher chakras where their intuition can get really, really clouded because we focus on the house of the priestess, which are those higher chakra energies. This is where the divine feminines actually function from. So their world, in a way, intuitively has been very dark. And intuitively is where the divine feminine has to clear out these devil-like energies, where for the masculine, for the feminine, it's more of a battle of the mind. For the masculine, it's more of a battle of the physical world. Okay, so this is where it differs in the energy between masculines and feminines. Divine masculines have the battles of the physical world, deadly sins, and the feminine energies. We tend to battle these energies within our minds. Okay, so Spirit really wanted me to break that down for you guys and get you to the naked truth of understanding the heart of the matter of how we battle these energies and which different aspects we mirror each other from. Okay, so it's definitely about this whole new world that the divine feminine is starting to discover in her rebirthing process, that not everything is lonely, dark, and deep, and that she has the power to create new energies in her world. This is a part of her rebirthing process. This is a part of her beginning to flower within her own world, rising above the ashes from the lower level energies in order to step into her higher vibration and discover the power of ancient mysteries. This is also another thing that the divine feminine really, according to the divine mother, really needs to embrace within herself right now. They are also taking me back into ancient Egypt and ancient times of nomadic cultures where in multiple countries, you can talk about Greece, you can talk about ancient Egypt or Persia or any of these places in ancient realms where belly dancing was actually very prominent. You have multiple different styles of belly dancing. And I mention that because I've been a fan of belly dancing for a very long time. And whenever I'm alone and I'm going through my own exercise regimens, which I read on a drum, guys, because I dance to the beat of my own drum. I read to the beat of my own drum because that's what sets me apart from everyone else. I use the drum in my readings as a very symbolic tool for my communication to you guys, that ancient hum of the sound, the vibrations. So I wanted to do nothing but put out the highest of vibrations. So I used the bass drum as my instrument to read these cards on for you guys. Just like the Ouija board, you know, it's an oracle board. So because I'm an oracle and because I am very connected to the spirit of the Oracle of Delphi, this is why I chose to use the oracle board as, you know, as another tool on my altar for you guys. But back to dance and back to belly dance and how it pertains to the divine feminine and to the divine feminine's ancient dance of freedom. Okay. Belly dance was formed in very ancient times, a dance of the slaves, a dance of the woman, the feminine slave, where she could free herself within the movements of her body, the sway of her hips, you know, the sway of, or the shake and shimmy of her shoulders, and the posture of her arms. You know, it was very enticing and very intoxicating to watch a woman be beautiful, exotic, and divine, all in the same energy, you know. And this was a way for the feminine to truly free herself in those moments of entertaining, you know, the people around her, where, you know, she wasn't looked at as a slave. She wasn't necessarily looked at as an object of sex either, but she was looked at as a beautiful feminine who was stepping into her own power and divinity in those moments. And so this is why traditionally belly dance was carried down and has been carried down through generations and generations of women, and is still a very prominent form of feminine expression to this day. So I just wanted to throw that out there, you know, along with the, you know, the fact that we also have within the divine feminine, we have her sense of pride, you know, and along with that, we have the fact that, you know, she's needing some space. You know, this is resulting to that, that's another space where the divine feminine is mirroring the divine masculine, where she's needing some space to contemplate some things that are happening in her world right now. Okay, with the pride card I have here, this is about a release of ego. Okay, and in the first read, using the karma cards, like, I've not really used the karma cards very often, but after I clicked off of the divine masculine read, the energy of the sun, I actually went through the book, and because the pride card popped out, I'm going to go ahead and read that energy so that we kind of see why the sun card popped out in the masculine read and why the pride card is here. Okay, so in the house of the rising sun. Okay, so that sun energy for the masculines was the symbol that shows the dot, was representing spirit, or all that there is. Okay, the symbolization of not only our unique existence, but the midst of all there is about ego in the world. The notion that we're all at the center of our personal universe, just as the sun is at the center of the solar system. So the sun, being the most important of the planets, is associated with ruling others by making order out of chaos. The sun's heat and the light give life, and so the sun represents fatherhood in a warm, giving, illuminating sense. Okay, so that was what it was for the divine masculines. But for the divine feminines, this is about, the pride card is about ego and being the center of attention, feeling important, pride. You know, there's that pride, you know. This could also be about the warmth of a sunny place, creativity and artwork, sports, or just having plain fun and desire and belief in someone or something, visualizations. Okay, so it's really about taking a sense of pride in what you're doing, divine feminines. This is about the changes that are happening and the pride that's coming with the world, within your world, and the rebirth that's happening within it. Because you taking this time, you're getting in touch with your creative side. This is what I really truly feel is taking place. The more of those lower vibrations that you tend to walk away from or shut yourself, you know, away from. So I feel like in a way the divine feminine's kind of going within. She's releasing what pride she can. This is resulting, I feel like, in her ego, where she's fearful of releasing certain connections. The divine masculine is also going through the same like energy where he's having to swallow his pride and stand in his sovereignty to release certain connections right now that no longer serve him. People that are dysfunctional, people that are toxic, people that may, like I said, we're all empaths, so we have a tendency to sponge, other energies really, really effectively, whether we know it or not. So there's just a lot going on in the mirroring aspect between divine feminine and divine masculine energies right now. And this is mainly about an ego release. I wouldn't necessarily it's about an ego death, because I don't feel like in this energy nothing necessarily needs to die at this point in time, but there are things that need to be released for the highest good, for both parties. So for the divine feminine right now, it's hitting her in a different way, where she's taking a sense of pride in the way that her world is changing because she's done the work. But in this I need some space energy, she may need to go within and take a rest right now. It's really about a time of rest and reprieve. So, in establishing boundaries, releasing that fear from the ego of uncertainties, and not knowing the outcome of things and not knowing how things are going to manifest. So the divine feminine is really needing to take that rest and reprieve in order to truly do the same kind of introspection work within the shadow self right now. This is about clearing out those things within the shadow self, so that the world and the light within the divine feminine's world and divine masculines as well, so that that world of theirs can get a little bit brighter. So there's really a lot happening, multi-dimensionally either. At the same time, I also feel that's also why the world card is here, because the divine feminine is experiencing these things within the veil, okay, like multi-dimensional travel, astral traveling, things like that. The veil is extremely thin right now, and this is what the divine feminine is also experiencing during her rebirthing process. This is a part of those third eye and crown chakra um, uh, awakenings, ascensions that the divine feminine is going through. She might be withdrawn more from other people in her world right now, because this is another experience that she's going through. There's a lot of energies in the lower level sense that the divine feminine would be able to sense more heightened at this time. So she's kind of needing to take some space to see what's really going on within these energy. It's about using her discernment. Okay, so discernment is another issue that's coming up for the divine feminine, because those higher level chakras are wide open for the divine feminine right now. So she's really, really contemplating. She's really starting to see the differences between lower level energies, higher level energies. She's really starting to come into this really great spiritual awakening, where she's learning to discern the differences in multi-dimensional beings. This is coming out in the divine feminine collective right now, in the now hours. This may be why the divine feminine is also feeling a little bit more withdrawn from the world right now, because her entire world is really changing, especially for those of you guys that are just really now coming into your ascensions. You guys are just now coming into your sense of spirituality. You're connecting to your psychic gifts. You're starting to feel out these different kinds of energies that are existing. And so it's kind of puts you guys in another state of learning, where you guys are having to learn how to trust yourselves for what's going on in your own inner world, like in your own inner mind. You're having to discern yourselves from the other energies. So this could also require you guys to need to go into hermit mode and have a little bit more space to yourselves right now. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, okay, next deck, next moving on to the clarification oracles. With the midnight, with the houses, or what is it? The house of night oracle. Okay, so what's going on with the 7 deadly sins, Spirit? What is the divine feminine going through within the 7 deadly sins energy? The number for that card is the number 15. It adds to 6. So you have 6, 3, energies of 7, 10, completion. What's going on with the 7 deadly sins energy for the divine feminine? Why is this energy here? Spirit. Okay, all right, okay. Oh, again, we have another mirror card coming out for the divine feminines. We have movement again. We also have this card in the same placement that the divine masculine had in his read as well, and that this is covering the energy of the 7 deadly sins. She's moving out of that energy. She knows that that energy will keep her stuck in her world if she doesn't move forward. Okay, so this is what the divine feminine is taking into action right now. This is what the divine feminine has to take into action at the moment, this movement. And that's truly moving away from what no longer serves her anymore. What's going on with the world card? We have meditation. What's going on with the pride card? We have rigid. Okay, so yeah, this is that ego, that rigidness of the ego that's being shed right now. So with, okay, I need some space. We have the warrior card. So the divine feminine is going into warrior mode. But she's also being reminded by spirit right now that she needs to be playful as well. This has to be that energy to help her gain some neutrality with what is happening right now between worlds, between the 5D world and the 3D world. I strongly feel that tonight I'm actually, I don't know, for some strange reason, I'm connecting more to the divine feminines tonight. And usually it's the divine masculines that I connect to the deepest, because I feel like the divine masculine's voice isn't heard enough. But I feel like tonight the divine feminine's voice really needs to be heard overall, because she is the leader of energy, and because we have this number 10 here going on with the rebirthing process. I really feel like this really needs to be a lot deeper for the divine feminines tonight, and more understood, because the divine feminines are the leaders in energy. The divine feminines in the world are initiating a new cycle of change and a new cycle and a rebirth right now for the collective. So I really feel like this is why spirit is having me emphasize more deeply on what's going on with the divine feminines right now, because the divine feminines, I guess, from the last couple of weeks and the energies that I've read in the Naked Truth videos for both parties, is that the divine feminine these last couple of weeks, the great divine feminine energy is kind of taken a step back, and kind of for both parties, is that the divine feminine these last couple of weeks, the great divine feminine energy has kind of taken a step back, and kind of ebb and flow of how the energies are working within the collective, and the divine masculine have kind of been the initiators, and they've had more to say over these last few weeks. It's because they needed to clear out those heart and throat chakra energies, as well as the divine feminine. But now I feel like this is where the divine feminine's turn to kind of get a little bit more deep and kind of speak her truth a little bit more loudly and a little bit more clearly for the collective. And this is going to help. I feel this is going to help both sides of the spectrum of the collective more in this phase of energy right now, which is why what the divine feminine has to say during this reading is it really needs to be taken to heart right now, because this is a true message from the great divine feminine to help all sides of the collective actually heal through the now moments. Okay, so they just wanted me, the spirits and the powers that be, they wanted me to kind of specify this right now, that the divine feminine, this is why the divine feminine really does need to exercise her voice right now, because her voice and her words, in any way they come out of her, whether they are in spoken form, written form, or somehow translated from the divine feminine to the collective right now, these messages coming from the divine feminine are healing, messages of healing, great growth, powerful change. And to be, and they need to be recognized, and they also need to be implemented responsibly, guys. The divine feminine really, really wanted me to emphasize that to you guys right now. So anyway, back to the energy of movement and moving out of the energy of the seven deadly sins and the negative cycles of lower level energy. The divine feminine is really, really taking action to move forward, to meditate and bring balance back into her world. Okay, because as of late, the divine feminine's world has been pretty rigid and kind of fear stricken. So she's gone into warrior mode, and she's taken some time and some self reflection and some peace and quiet, to truly gather her battle strategy here on how she's going to come out of this rigidness, and how she's going to really integrate her shadow right now to help soothe some of these fears that she's got going. It's the divine feminine's time to blossom. So it's this rigid feeling of that ego, letting go of that, energy, letting go of the control issues. When you're trying to control everything, and like, I'm just speaking from experience, guys, but when you're getting that energy where your ego makes you fearful and you just want to control the outcomes of things because you're afraid that things won't work out how you want them to, we kind of wind up putting ourselves in this energy of being completely rigid. And it closes up our heart chakras and keeps us from welcoming in that good ass prana that spirit's trying to breathe in to us and breathe into us with that life force energy, that we need in order to be the empresses, in order to be the priestess, in order to be the divine feminines and hold our sacredness, in this state of being of power. And that feeling of rigidness would really kind of, in a way, it would block us. It would block us from those guides. It would block us from that good ass prana that we need in order to be vital in our healing, and be vital in the spread of the word or the messages, or allowing ourselves to connect to other people. When we become rigid, we don't want to, we kind of want to shut ourselves off, but it's kind of like, we don't need to do that anymore. This isn't a form of healthy battle strategy. So it's like the divine feminine is really going into meditation on how she's going to move forward out of this rigid phase, to open up this new playful form of battle strategy, to to really, really balance herself out within the differences of energies. We're very different from the masculine, and there have been so many times in these last several thousand years where the divine feminine has had to be more in the masculine energy. So therefore, to some degree, where the ancient ones kind of switched roles, and because the divine masculine was going more into the energies of seeking power from external things, in the material world, like beauty exotica, you know, like falling into the temptations of worldly sin, where he's not focusing on himself and the warrior becomes distorted. You know, the divine feminines really had to step up and take on that masculine role in order to truly get things done. And even then, this is where the divine feminine has to go back within herself and find the inner goddess warrior within, and really truly balance out that masculine energy and give it back to the masculines. Okay, I'm being told that that's another thing, that in our stubborn pride, we need to energetically understand that the parts of us that have made us rigid is because, you know, we don't have that equally balanced relationship with the divine masculines. And so in this time of change, in this time of awakening, in this point in time, because time is fluid, the balance is shifting, and the divine feminines need to let go of that rigidness. We need to really go in and meditate on rebirthing ourselves back into the sacred feminine, because we are feminine. We need to, I mean, maybe it was because in that sense of feminine abandonment back in ancient times that's carried on, you know, like through our blood and DNA activations, you know, throughout multiple lifetimes, different cycles. You know, all of that is being looked at within our entire world right now. It's what we've been meditating on. It's basically every lesson that we've been experiencing and learning to honor during this whole entire journey. You know, taking what lessons of the past lives, ancients, you know, our ancestors, you know, how this role got flipped in the energy, and how we're having to do the work in order to bring balance back to that, you know, order from chaos, you know. So the fact that we have that order and chaos, infinite, indestructible duality here, this just goes to show you, you know, just energetically, you know, how the divine masculine and how the divine feminine, they truly do mirror each other in polar opposite ways, but it makes them whole, just like yin and yang. But we tend to forget this. We tend to forget this in the 3D world. We have tended, like we've seriously been in the habit of sweeping this shit under the rug for thousands of years. You know, the dynamics changed. Divine masculines, with the power that they were given and the sovereignty that they were given by spirit, divine feminines have really had to carry the load of that. And this is what we have to move out of. This is why the divine feminines are always initiating the divine masculine to come out of this energy of lack, of feeling like we're not worthy. You know, the divine feminines are always the positive ones, and you know, we're always saying like, well, things can change. Well, and the divine masculines don't want to believe that, or vice versa. You know, divine masculines have their ways about them too, where they're more optimistic than the divine feminines, and we're all in this energy of coming out of this rigidness, you know, which is based on fear. And that is what the ego is. In a nutshell, by definition, the ego is a fear-driven energy that you create within yourself. And through release of pride and rigidness, you learn to heal that within. So divine feminines are looked at as the empresses, the lovers, and the nurturers. And there's a reason why. It's because we teach our young how to love unconditionally. We teach our children how to play. We teach our children, eventually how to learn the differences between, energies and people. The masculine teaches the children how to be the warriors, and, how to teach their daughters, to be still. That's the wish of every father, is to teach his daughter just how to be still, never to grow up. Never, don't bring these boys home because I'm not ready for that, kind of shit. But, divine feminine is being called by the divine to release this rigidness, release this fear, because she's a warrior. She's a battle strategist. And when the warrior card comes out in this deck, it's a very beautiful thing, because it's kind of like, here's the innocent part of the masculine, which is a part of us in turn. We wouldn't be one without the other. We wouldn't have one without the other. The divine feminine is the nurturer. She is the lover. And she wants to remind us all of that right now, is that it's the divine feminine's duty to move things forward, to initiate that release from codependency. It is the divine feminine's duty to release that nature, to release the codependency, because the masculine has been stuck in it for so long. We need to help the masculine out of that, not judge him, not judge ourselves. We need to move out of that too. So the divine masculine can't move forward unless we do first. We have to show the divine masculine that we don't have to be codependent either. We need to show the masculine. We need to let the masculine know that we would have his back without our codependencies. Because obviously there has to be some kind of a level energy there. There has to be some kind of a balance there. The divine feminine keeps the masculine level-headed. The divine masculine keeps us from making physical mistakes. That is how the polarities of energy work between the two. And the divine feminine is being reminded that some kind of movement needs to be made and meditated upon within this world dynamic in order to release this rigidness, to bring the warrior souls back together. Okay? That is the message. That is what the divine feminine is getting in her solitude right now. So this would resonate for those women, those feminines that are truly, truly accepting the messages that the divine are bringing to them at this point. Those of you guys that are truly on a path to stepping into your divinity, to stepping into your power, to stepping into your life, your life mysteries, summoning those ancient powers. In order to understand the differences, to release yourselves from the soul cage. That soul cage is underneath there. I've been seeing in different decks of cards, I've noticed in a couple of different oracle decks that I have, there's always a trapped card or a prison card or something, of that relation. So anyway, moving forward, we're going to go ahead and tap in to the tarot, and we're going to see what we've got for clarification for the divine feminines. Overall energies of rebirth. Going to use the influence of the angel. Judgment. Judgment is popping out in the divine feminine energy while I'm shuffling, and the Six of Cups as well. So I had touched on that childlike energy. I'm also seeing the Archangel Michael here with the Magician card. So it's like almost like the divine feminine is trying to manifest her inner child to come out and play. My nose is itching, so because I feel like that's just confirmation. The divine feminine is trying to manifest her inner child to come out to play. Okay. Okay, with rebirth, we have the energy of temperance here, which is the angels at work. The angels are trying to help the divine feminine learn to be more patient. Okay, you also have the angels working on the divine feminine to bring in balance. And with that, you have another major arcana card. You have the High Priestess. All right, so with temperance, I'm going to go ahead and start with temperance first. Overall energy, Six of Pentacles. It's also about balance. 2 sixes. The number 66 or the number 6 in general. Maybe a message for you guys from the angels. You guys want to look up the angelic number 6 or 66. So with temperance, you have Bagless, who is the angel of moderation, said to help those with addictions by encouraging self-discipline. All right, so they're going to bring up the energy of addictions here. I also mentioned addictions, sexual addictions, spirit addictions of any kind would definitely come to play. Things that you put in your body that become addictions. I'm getting food as well. Food can be a gluttonous thing. Things to envy when you covet other things and things that other people have. Okay, there's a lot of that energy floating around in the air right now, especially with the fact that divine feminines are the divine feminine energy is in the air to make the collective see that sometimes the people that you have around you will show their inner colors. They're going to show their true colors. And some of the people around you, divine feminine, their true colors are ugly. You know, they pretend to be beautiful people, or they may be beautiful people on the outside, but they're not beautiful people on the inside. I'm really strongly feeling like that's an addiction. You know, being addicted. The divine feminine actually wants to warn the entire collective, divine masculine and feminine alike. The divine feminine is saying that we really need to get out of that energy, and the reason why it is stuck in the energy between divine masculine and feminines is because there is this energy where you have a tendency to look at things that are beautiful, and that's because, you know, you might see somebody that's beautiful, like you might see a handsome man, but this handsome man is not all that he appears to be. And this could also go vice versa with divine masculines as well. Divine masculines have a very, very nasty habit, and we all do. We're all guilty. Women do this too. We all, as human beings, we have a habit of going after a person or being attracted to a person because of their outward looks. Okay, but we don't understand that because they're so very beautiful that they can be completely ugly on the inside. And this can become because this can become a codependent energy. This can be an energy of an addiction. Okay, being addicted to beautiful people, it's vanity. Okay, they're telling me that divine feminine energies are really seeing and understanding and having to understand the energy of vanity, not only from with themselves, but they've also had to deal with this in the situations with the masculine energies. Okay, and I just say energies. The masculine collective has a tendency to be vain when it comes to women. period, or the feminine energy. The outside is something that is looked at more often than what a person has on the inside. And I'm not saying like this is on either side's guilt, but I'm just saying this is really what is creating that problem between men and women. Men and women have a tendency to go for outward looks rather than what is going on in the inside. The feminines are guilty as well. This is why they attract those energies to them that they wind up hurting them. This is why temperance is here. Temperance is here to balance that out. It's time to stop looking at one another from a place of vanity, because that's not truly how you move forward toward your power. That is not how you alchemize your energy. This is how you find out really, really quick and in a hurry what's meant for you and what isn't. This is something that the Divine Masculine was having to contemplate as well. So, you know, there's a lot going on here with the Temperance card. Colorful substance, liquids, light on fire, water moves from one cup to the other. It goes from cold blue to hot, red, and vice versa. Even though these colors are opposite on the spectrum, they can be combined and blended in a compatible way. This represents harmony and synthesis. It also represents moderation, because neither hot nor cold dominates, and they mix together, intrepid and warm. The two separate cups represent emotional extremes. It covers extremes in thought, behavior, and ideas that may spring from intense emotions. All right. For example, if you're cut off in traffic, you may get very angry at the offending driver and may indulge in fantasies of road rage or yell obscenities. But the cold emotion refers to being distant and unfeeling. An extremely cold person would be a sociopath who's unstable to feel anything for anyone or empathize with another human being. Backlist blends the hot and cold, showing a spectrum of emotion. Extremes in emotion, thought, and behavior, it leads to imbalance, but moderation maintains equilibrium and sanity. So the water symbolizes unconscious, unknown spiritual world, and the foot of the water represents realities that can't be seen. The foot on land represents the material, touchable world, because here, in contrast with water, dry land indicates the knowable, conscious, practical world. Backlist is in touch with both. This illustrates that the two realities exist and are at work in your life at the same time. It also suggests that you being too spiritual makes you out of touch with reality. So this could be also a message to beware of people who claim to be super, super spiritual. It could be a fucking lie. It could be a facade. It could be what they aren't telling you, which is why the High Priestess is here. You are the High Priestess, Divine Feminine, so you're being called to your power to use your discernment right now to see past the bullshit of the vain in the world, the vanity in the world that people possess. This is a part of your power. This is also a part of your gift of recognition from yourself to others. You know, when people are, claiming to be something that they're not, okay? There are a lot of energies in this world right now, Divine Feminine. You're being called to understand by the angels, by your spirit guides, by your masters and your way showers and source, that there are energies out there that will lie to you. They will disguise themselves and they will mask themselves. And because you have the energy to feel and see beyond the veil, you have the responsibility to learn to use this discernment with the power of your gifts to be able to interface with not only the other people around you, but the energies that you're connecting to on the other side. You have to use your discernment right now to be persistent, to strike the right balance within your lives, to moderate and avoid extremes. Moderate behavior to balance it out in a healthy fashion. Blend things together in a harmonious way. Create harmony and balance. Synthesis. Mixing things together to make something new. Divine Feminine, you are the Empress. You are the High Priestess. You are the Magician. You are the Magician. You are the High Priestess. The Magician and the High Priestess are one. The great Divine Feminine and the great Divine Masculine energies of manifestation. The Magician and the High Priestess. Okay. So with the energy of Temperance here and its specific meaning and the influence of the Angels deck. Ooh, Lord. Okay. I'm going to read the final message there. The angelic message for this card is a perfect combination that rarely happens on the first try. Experiment with the things that are going on around you right now. Be persistent. Learn to recognize what is needed to get everything working together, unified and balanced. And right now, the whole message about you becoming the flower of life and temperancing out this power within you, this polarity of energies. It's about being persistent in order to make things function with balance, being unified. Okay, this is about unification. It's unifying the sexes, unifying the battle. And that's why the warrior card is here. Unifying the battle within. Merging the 5D self with the 3D self, but ascending as one being within, from just within you, and showing others how to do the same thing. This is what the healing mission is of the Divine Feminine. It's about helping and nurturing other people into their awakenings, into their warrior status, helping them arm themselves with knowledge and truth, helping them through the mysteries. This is the mission. In some way, shape, or form, every Divine Feminine in the world, or every person that's being called to action, especially if you are on a twin flame journey, you're being called into mission. Your voice, your words, your abracadabra, energies need to be recognized. Okay. So it's time for balance. It's time to blend things together harmoniously. Divine Feminine. It's time to release that control. It's time to release the pride, release that rigidness that we developed somewhere within our pride, where our egos were bruised. And this is because of the masculines. Okay. We need to release that energy of feeling like the masculine bruised our egos, because our true divine masculines have that warrior spirit within them as well, just like we do. And I think that this is a whole collective message of ancestry here, telling us that we really need to not be so vain and think that this is just a one-sided ordeal. You know, the divine masculines have their own hurts and they have their own pains too. And when we allow our bruised egos to come into place, it makes us become very rigid. It makes us close off our heart space. We're not opening that heart space up to our divine masculine. So how the fuck would we know if our divine masculine was really here? Would we truly allow him to do his job as a divine masculine? To be that optimistic person in our lives, to kind of step up to the plate, because the divine masculine is very protective over the divine feminine in some way, shape, or form, even if the connection happens for a split second and then you go into separation. No matter how the dynamic happens or goes down, no matter how many differences the divine feminine and the divine masculine have between each other, no matter what traps them and keeps them apart during separation, let me mind you, is that there are certain things about this journey that you're not meant to know until you're meant to know them. But divine feminines need to really, if you're going to say that you're divine and you're going to step into your divinity, it means you not only talk the talk, but you literally walk the walk. You have to do what you say you're going to do, because you're being trusted by the divine to lead this revolution for balance. And I don't say revolution in an anarchist kind of way. Let's get real here, guys. This isn't about anarchy. This is about the divine feminine being the loving, nurturing, divine beings that they are, and giving love and nurturing to the world of themselves and the world around them. That's the divine feminine mission. Okay? That's what needs to be focused on right now. The divine feminine needs to release her control of the outcome of the unknowns in her life. All of the unknowns in the divine feminine's life. As long as she trusts in the divine, as long as she trusts in the divine to bring in balance with the things that she does not know, she can trust in herself to move along this journey and release this tie that binds with the ego here and pride. Because when the warrior comes to pull her out of her solitude, the warrior will come one day, divine feminine. This is a message from spirit. The world will bring you your divine masculine, divine feminine. This is something that you don't see right now while you're taking time to yourself in your personal space. You don't understand just yet that if you just trust in the divine feminine and let go of your control issues, your warrior will come home. Your warrior will find you. The one that's meant to find you when you are truly ready. And when you are truly ready, spirit will decide when you are truly ready. We don't have that control, guys. We don't have the control of knowing when we will be ready for our divine counterparts to truly come into our lives. It will happen in divine timing. We have to release this need for control over divine timing, because that is not the lesson that we learn in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is knowing that time fluid, and you are a time traveler, and you are a divine multi-dimensional being And time is never running out for a being that lives inwardly in infinitude. And Divine Feminine knows that this is her world. Okay? We know this through meditation. We know this from the divine messages that we receive from the other side through the veil. The voices of light that tell us how fertile and how powerful we really are, that give us these preconceived notions or these truth downloads about how magnificent we really are as magicians and manifestors. All right, so there's a lot going on here, Divine Feminine. A lot going on here. And it's really sad that this would come out in this video tonight. And I have a feeling more people, I hope more people decide that they want to watch this video, because this would be helpful to both sides of the spectrum right now, to the overall collective, the masculines even. And this is just the way that Spirit does it. Spirit made women to be strong. Spirit made women and feminine bodies and energies to be stronger for a reason. It's almost like Spirit's telling me is that women are special as nurturers. Women embody more of that ability to teach and understand what unconditional love truly is through the act of childbirth. That's a very, very significant, respected role to have within a universal dimension of creation in the physical world. And it's been overlooked. Spirit saying that they really hope that more people watch this video for this message alone, because the Divine Feminine overlooks herself even. The feminine overlooks herself as a powerful manifester. She overlooks the mysteries of herself even. And sometimes that can be the hindrance of a Divine Feminine's journey. In truth, the naked truth of it. Underneath that, you have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is that energy that is coming in. That's kind of a mystery. We don't know how the Six of Pentacles energy is going to come in, but we know it's there. We know that balance has to come at some point. We've been praying for it for too long. I do feel like that energy is going to go with the rigidness here. So anyways, I want to get an overall, okay, let's get one card. I just want to get one card for clarification for why the difference is here. You know, you have the two cats, yin and yang. The number 36, which is also number 9. Okay, Spirit, what's going on with the differences card? Give us some clarification for differences. What is the Divine Feminine looking at? Ah, there you go. Well, I guess that one wanted to come out too. We have Michael coming out for real in the deck. Michael is here to help the Divine Feminine energetically move forward. You've got Michael coming in with the Chariot and the 8 of Wands underneath the deck. This is about messages coming in. Over the energy, we got the, let me see. I don't know. The Divine Feminine, Michael is saying leadership and ability. Michael is saying he's here to help you with the leadership and ability to protect people, your ability to love and nurture. Nurture people through the differences, you know. It's usually the feminine energies that help balance those things, out. And Michael's saying that the sword and the cup and the pentacle that you have as far as your tools, like your sword being your truth, your sword being the intellect. Swords are energy of air, thought, intellect. You have the pinnacle, which is about earth, 3D, like worldly things. You have cups, which is emotions, heart, and the wands is about spirit, soul. That's spiritual and soul energy. So the tools that Michael has to give you and has to offer you, you're to use them as needed to move forward, Divine Feminine. Use these things to make diagrams, layouts, lay out your skill sets in front of you. Come up with a battle strategy, or I say battle strategy, but come up with a strategy and plan to move forward, Divine Feminine. Move forward through the differences. So this is what the Archangel Michael is helping the Divine Feminine do at this time. Helping her move forward through the differences between not only her own energy, but the energy of the Divine Masculine. Naturally, you can't sit here and say that Divine Feminines, they don't think about their Divine Masculine, or they don't think about the idea of their Divine Masculine, or who this person would be, but, moving through the heart and mind, using the tools that Michael is giving you, Divine Feminine, use them as they're needed to move forward. Create your own world. Embody the energy that you wish to create or receive. This is the balance that you are needing to soothe your ego right now. How do you do that within yourself? I want to read the message to that card. How do you do, what message of the Six of Pentacles is here to help calm that rigid, that rigid feeling, that's developed within you? Sharing what you have with those in need, it helps keep the world in balance. Right now, the fact of the matter is, Divine Feminine, my spirit guide just flat out said it. Divine Feminine needs not worry about the Divine Masculine right now and who he's sharing his time with. This is what we need to release. Right now, we have to share what is ours. Okay? If the Divine Masculine, we could even label him as ours. Can we really, truly? No. The Spirit says to unconditionally love someone is to set them free. You must set them free, Divine Feminine. I feel like Spirit's really cracking down on us, guys. Spirit is really cracking down on us to release the energy of the Divine Masculine so that he can nurture himself. And if we truly, truly, unconditionally love Divine Masculine, we need to release him because he's exactly where he needs to be right now, just as you are exactly where you need to be right now, Divine Feminine. The angels, this is what Michael the Archangel is saying. You have the tools to bring balance to yourself by giving of yourself. Give of yourself when people are in need. Nurture the world around you right now to bring in balance for yourself. Release that rigidity, release that feeling of being rigid by giving charity. Don't have ulterior motives. Help those in need without passing moral judgment. Accept help or charity without shame or hurt or pride. Restore healthy balance between material and spiritual in one's own life or within your community or your society. So it's time to take action, Divine Feminine. That's what the message of the Eight of Wands is about. Taking action, moving forward, using the tools that the angels and divine are giving you because you're the High Priestess. The angels are here to help you temper the situation out. The angels are here to help you be born in this energy of being the magician, standing in your sovereignty, releasing the masculine from the cage. You are the one that will release the masculine from the cage. So if you spend so much time watching readings on how to come back into union with your divine masculine or how to come into union with your divine masculine, you need to first understand why the divine masculine and why you yourself are on this journey, and understand why you are where you are right now. It's because Spirit says you're exactly where you need to be. If you are not in union with your divine masculine yet, you need to be in your own solitude, gaining this warrior perspective, getting ready to welcome your warrior to come home when you're ready. It is saying, yes, dream big, love hard, but you have to release this rigidity within yourself by giving to others and allowing yourself to receive as well when charity is upon you. Releasing your pride. It's about pride, guys. Release your pride. Allow the divine masculine to be where he is on his journey right now, just as you are. Give to others while you wait. When you give to others, you're giving to yourself. This in turn brings your warrior home, guys. This in turn will bring your warrior home. All right, moving forward. All right, so give us clarification, Spirit, to the deadly sins and movement. That's the energy of 11. We have 11, 11, 11, 11. Okay, so Divine Feminine has already had her Tower moment. The Tower moment is in reverse. The Tower card is in reverse. This, in this angel deck, it has... something has come down about the past here. The Six of Cups is back. The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is back. Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine has been releasing a lot of energies from the past. Clearing out energies from the past. We have the Tower in reverse, so I want to get to that first. Okay. I love these cards. The messages from these cards are so powerful. The Tower is in representation to the angel Barakiel. He's known to be the chief of the guardian angels and is considered the angel in charge of lightning. As a structure on the Tower represents mankind's structured ideas, philosophy, religion, science, technology, civics, and the institutions associated with them, schools, churches, governments. Prior to being hit by lightning, the Tower sat firm and erect on a very high hill and represented the highest or best in human achievement and ideas. The Tower is being destroyed by lightning, symbolizes the destruction of ideas, institutions that have become old and obsolete. It represents flawed and unproductive or worthless beliefs or situations that get in the way of personal happiness, healthy behavior, and clear thinking. This tower is also reminiscent of the biblical Tower of Babel. In that story, the people of Babylon wanted to build a tower tall enough to reach heaven. They were driven by the idea of worldwide fame and admiration. God saw that they were more focused on themselves at the tower than him, so he stepped in. At the time, every person on earth spoke just one language, but suddenly they began to speak in different languages. The Babylonians were unable to finish building the tower because they could no longer communicate with each other. God then scattered the people all over the whole earth. The Tower of Babel story is about hubris, arrogant pride in oneself and one's own accomplishments. The Tower card shows hubris put in its proper place, knocked down just as God put an end to the Babylonian tower. The lightning in the card represents it's one bolt that's already hit the top of the tower with another about to strike. The lightning causes the top of the tower to break from the bottom. The lightning represents shock, shattered concepts, and disruption. The break indicates a break from old ideas and situations and the need for change. So, the divine feminine is moving on, in the shadow meaning of this card is complete instability, feeling unmoored, adrift, and rudderless. When you overestimate your own accomplishments, when you think you're worth more than you actually are, you have no humility. When you're filled with arrogant pride, you are guilty of hubris. See yourself realistically with humanity. It will help you avoid causing damage and harm to yourself and others. Okay, so the divine feminine has learned a serious lesson of the tower from both perspectives. Not only has she learned from the tower moments that she has created within herself and her own situations and her own lives, but she's also been a great witness, which is what the High Priestess is. The High Priestess is also a witness over, you know, observing things but saying nothing. Those tower moments, the divine feminine also understands that these tower moments, how these tower moments take place within the world, within the divine feminine herself, and within the world around her. She is very, very aware that she's been through times where she has overestimated her own accomplishments. Um, there are times where the divine feminine did overstep, some of her boundaries. I feel like that's more of what spirit's trying to say. Is divine feminine has been in an energy where she's overstepped her boundaries. This is why the overall message is that the divine feminine really needs to establish some boundaries within her life right now after this tower moment. It's not only because of the lessons that she's learned within herself, but the lessons that she's also learned watching the divine masculine hurt in his journey, and hurt from separation, or not having your divine soul counterpart in your life. The overall energy of the Six of Cups, I want to clarify that. Sixes are about returning to a state of harmony and balance. Okay, so we already got that with the Six of Pentacles here. This is actually a clarification card to the Tower in reverse here. I really feel so. Yeah, that's gonna stay there. The primrose, which is the little flowers that are growing at the bottom, on the ground where the cups are. It's a traditional symbol of youth. The boy helps the girl decorate her dress with a flower, a gesture of help, kindness, and affection. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there because that's where this is where the divine feminine is having her tower moment. This is where the divine feminine is stuck. Okay, this is where her wishes She wishes the divine masculine collective would, she's missing this from the divine masculine. I guess that's just the best way to put it. The gestures of help, the kindness, and the affections of the divine masculine, the divine feminine is missing this in her life. But the children part of the energy, this is about representing honesty and simple goodness. Okay. There are no ulterior motives in this energy. The divine feminine has no ulterior motives in moving forward. Okay. She wants to get back to this childlike innocence, okay, that she lost when she had to become adult, and she lost the ideal aspects of, a positive childhood. Memories that represent the positive childhood nostalgia in her life. There was a time where the divine feminine can actually remember being happy as a child. And this is where the divine feminine truly needs that energy to move forward, the energy of creation, the energy of having a very vivid imagination. But it's also the divine feminine who initiates this energy within the divine masculine whenever they meet each other. That's very important. Okay, that also plays a very important role in the movement of this energy as well, from the divine feminine aspect. The divine feminine, like I say, is the leader in energy. She propels certain things forward. Coming into union with the divine masculine finds the divine feminine very playful. This is what attracts him to her. Okay, but the divine feminine for herself in this situation needs to get back to this energy of creating her wish fulfillment from that childlike, very beautiful, very innocent imagination. Okay, so taking those positive childhood memories and actually using them to propel her forward. Okay, so this is also about good intentions, kindness, and reminders to be compassionate. The divine feminine needs to be more compassionate toward herself. The nostalgia and memories of simple times are helping the divine feminine and should be helping the divine feminine um, to bring back pure and simple happiness that is familiar to her. And the innocence, the lack of artifice or guile, which is, something that would kind of create a blockage for someone in any sense of the word. Okay, so this is where the divine feminine has had her revelations. All right, about that devil-like energy, about codependencies, and about the fact that, you know, there is a way that you can go and travel back in time in order to use things from the past to help you move forward into the future. But that's also an energy not to get stuck in that tower that's burning down, where your perceptions are burning down. Some of those perceptions need to come down in order for you to see the bigger picture, and to step into your true power, really. Okay, so what happens with the Six of Cups energy when with movement, when the divine feminine, thinks from her playful, inner child aspect? What does this do for her during a point of meditation and contemplation? We've got the Ace of Swords here. And I get that because Michael's here in this reading. This is the sword of truth. All right. So, in a time of contemplation and meditation, the divine feminine is actually able to receive the truth whenever she takes that time to herself to, you know what? I feel like this is where I need to touch on that warrior card with the truth, because this is what the divine feminine overall is needing some space to understand. So what is this? What is this warrior card? He is the number 2. We had the warrior. That's fucking crazy. guys. We have that number synchronicity with the masculines. We have 222 on the board here. The thumbnail that I used in the Divine Masculine Naked Truth video was 222, and it was that expression of him coming into himself. Okay, but you have to understand that this is what you need to understand in your time of space. Let's see, Divine Masculine. There's a message in here for that. The Divine Masculine's actually speaking out, the Divine Feminine reading this time. The last several weeks, the Divine Feminine kind of spoke out in the Divine Masculine reads, but the Divine Masculine is voicing something to the Divine Feminine here. The message from the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine right now, this would be 5 or higher level energies, okay? 5 in the 5th dimension, 6th dimension, 7th dimension, whatever level at ascension you guys are at. There are 12 levels of ascension, guys. I figured I would note that too. The Divine Feminine wanted to make that presence known, or Archangel Michael wanted to express that truth here. Is that there are 12 levels of ascension, but whatever levels that you guys are on right now, the Divine Masculine that is reaching out to you guys is saying that whatever you guys are experiencing will all be well if your question regarding love. This card represents someone who's deeply committed and protective and kind to you. Okay, so friendship and love are sacred. These qualities are important for a relationship to grow. If this person doesn't have these qualities, then move on. I will send you someone with a warrior spirit instead. Remember, life is about learning and discerning who is true and who is not. There is another message here to consider. Do you embody these qualities within yourself? And now would be a good time to think about how committed you are to your path. So this has come up in Divine Feminine energy over the last couple of days. How committed are you to your path right now? A lot of Divine Feminines are walking away from mission. A lot of feminines are walking away from the masculine collective because the masculine collective isn't getting it together fast enough for the Divine Feminine's satisfaction, which is wrong. Okay, that is where we need to heal parts of our own distortion right now. So we've been really looking hard and heavy at the Divine Masculine collective for quite some time now. And so Spirit really wants to turn that around and get the Divine Feminine collective to really look at themselves. Okay, this may be triggering for some Divine Feminines, but this is what I'm being told. It needs to happen. This is why that Tower moment came. The Divine Feminines have really been cracking down and being cracked down upon by Spirit in order to truly release this within themselves. Okay, so a lot of Divine Feminines want to know if this person that they're connected to is their Divine Masculine. So what the great Divine Masculine is saying to you guys is that if a masculine energy isn't treating you how you deserve to be treated, then it's time for you to reassess the situation of what the definition of a Divine Masculine really means. You also need to reassess within yourself what the true definition of Divine Feminine means to you as well. Are you truly stepping into mission right now as a Divine Feminine? Or are you going to stay in those lower level vibrational energies that are going to keep you stuck in a past nostalgia? Okay. As a high priestess, the high priestess is here to remind you, Divine Feminines, that there are certain mysteries that will be revealed to you on your journey. And if these certain situations are not tempered out within the self, Divine will find a way to move certain situations out of your life, just like they will in the case of the Divine Masculine. Okay? So they want to remind you that the High Priestess energy is here to tell you that if there are certain mysteries revolving around a certain masculine in your lives, and this certain masculine is not matching the energy of the Divine Masculine that you feel that your heart is calling out to, you really need to evaluate in meditation and contemplation if this is a devil energy, a lower level energy that is being sent into your life right now to test your level of commitment to yourself and to the collective, of divine missions. Okay? This is Michael not pulling the punches with you guys. And don't shoot me, because I'm just the messenger. But if you are on a path and you are on a divine feminine journey, you are being asked right now to very closely evaluate certain situations with certain people from your past. And in your past energies, you need to clear them out. You need to figure out and discern truly whether these energies are helping you or they're hurting you. And to truly, like I said, like Michael said, truly discern these masculine energies that are in your area or in your energy field right now. A lot of you guys have a third eye blockage, which means it's making it very hard with the lessons, the trials, the tribulations, and the tower moments, the synchronicities that are repeating themselves in multiple different cycles, in certain connections with certain masculine energies. You guys are being asked to look within and heal the distortions within, because you guys are having a real issue right now bringing balance to your lives, because you don't know whether you're stuck with a karmic or if you're dealing with your divine masculine. And so there needs to be some extreme clarification here and from within yourself, and to truly look at what's being presented to you in your life at this point in time. Because I have a feeling, and I'm just gonna tell you that what I'm seeing in a lot of your dynamics is that there's a possibility that you guys are stuck with karmic energies, thinking that they're your divine masculines when they're really not your divine masculines. And some of you need that clarification in order to move forward with your lives right now. These energies were presented to you to test your level of commitment, and that's the truth of the matter. Okay, so while you guys have had good intentions, your happiness is truly at stake here. Okay, and you really need to free yourself of certain energies that are repeating themselves in a negative cycle. And you guys can use that to your own discernment. Okay, so the message of the Six of Cups is about, when acting in goodness and good intentions, be sure to consider the risk or possible harm that may come from those actions. Don't ignore your common sense just to be nice. This is a message from the Archangel Michael and how to release these lower vibrations from you, and to get the clarity that you deserve and that you need in order to move forward and help you release this energy of being rigid, and allow yourself to be open to what spirit is trying to bring into you. They're trying to bring your divine masculine home, but if you guys are stuck in third party situations that have given you the impression that they have the potential to be divine, what they're saying is that with the warrior card, if one person isn't matching the energy that you're trying to put upon them, they're saying that there's another energy that matches your own, and the energy that you're with isn't the one. Okay, this message of clarity needed to come out for the collective, and it had to come out in this energy now. And I don't know why all of a sudden they're releasing this energy, but I have a feeling a lot of us have been getting this intuitive notion with the Ace of Swords. It's been coming through for a lot of us, but we haven't wanted to see it. We haven't wanted to pay attention. We haven't wanted to listen, because we have this need for control. And that's created a serious blockage for a lot of divine feminines right now. And that may piss a lot of people off. It may hurt a lot of people's feelings, because the people that you guys are attached to, you need to release. The divine masculine Don't feel bad, divine feminines. The true divine masculines are going through the same shit. And this is how you guys are truly mirroring each other. You guys are sitting here thinking, by watching a lot of these other readers who are giving out misguided information, you guys are sitting here thinking that, you know, some of these divine masculines you're dealing with in falsehood are the only ones that are stuck in these situations. And you don't want to see the truth of the fact of the matter of the fact that you could be stuck in these situations too. And that's a heart-wrenching ordeal, considering that we're the leaders in energy. And here we are in another year, a new beginning in another year. And a lot of divine feminines are still stuck in this energy where they're waiting for their divine masculines to come forward. And the reason why they cannot come forward is because some divine feminines are stuck in the energy of the karmics right along with the divine masculines. And you guys are being called forth to release these energies, even if you're not with people right now, even if you're not with a specific person, there are still other energies in your energy field that you guys need to clear out. You need to release. So, wow. Consider the risk and possible harm that may come from the actions that you choose. Don't ignore your common sense just to be nice. So some of you guys, the spirits are telling me, the angels are telling me, Michael, the archangel, is telling me that some of you guys are stuck with people that you think are your divine masculines, and they're really not. All right, I'm going to move forward. That's the truth of the Ace of Swords. That's what you guys really need to meditate and contemplate on right now. Let's get some clarification to the Ace of Swords. That's pretty heavy, guys. Aces show the essential characteristics of the suit, and rising from the clouds, the angels are similar to how thoughts emerge in the mind. Also, their upward glances convey thinking. They really want you to think long and hard right now. The sword is ready to strike at a moment's notice, and the sword represents a strong and aware mind. Be strong and be aware right now, divine feminines. Wow. The sky thoughts and ideas can be both clear and cloudy. Mental strength, sharp mind, the power of thinking things through, having a strategy. Independent, non-simplistic thinking. Be honest and clear in communication. Cut through cloudy thought, doubt, ambiguity, and seeing things clearly. Mental courage to face problems and uncomfortable issues. So, having to deal with the fact that there's a possibility that you guys, divine feminines, you guys are locked in grid on the wrong masculine. This is about you actually having the mental courage to face this issue because it's an uncomfortable one. Some of you guys are uncomfortably having to face the fact that there's a possibility you guys are looking at the wrong person because you're so needing control over the manifestation of it that you guys are locked on the wrong person. For real. This is saying that may you have clarity of vision to accept the truth and act with justice and speak with honesty. Okay, so if you guys are with a masculine who's not matching the vibration of the 5-dimensional masculine that you guys are telepathically communing with, you have to understand that there is an oppositional energy right now that's trying to keep twin flames from coming into union with one another. And the divine feminine is going to be the one who's going to be stuck with the task of having to remove this bullshit illusion from herself in order to allow her true divine masculine to come forward. Okay? Because you guys cannot, the angels are telling me that you guys cannot continue to watch and vibrate on a lower vibration from an energy from somebody that is telling you guys that your divine masculines are somebody that would stay stuck in a lower vibrational energy. You guys have to know that if you're doing the fucking work, your divine masculine, your true divine masculine is doing the work too. He's going to be in mission if he's on this journey like you are, and if you're on the journey like you say you are. You guys are literally mirroring each other in so many different ways. It's not even funny. So divine feminine, what the Archangel Michael is actually trying to tell you is that there is no possible fucking way that your divine masculine is not going to be doing the same amount of work that you are. And if you are stuck with a masculine energy who is stuck and stagnant, and you're just looking at the potential that he has to be a divine masculine, but he is nowhere near moving forward into that divine masculinity, then you need to truly contemplate and face the truth about the possibilities that this person is not your person that you're looking so desperately hard for. You're over analyzing shit. Stop over analyzing shit. It is creating a blockage of reasonable logic regarding your emotional and spiritual concerns at this time. Okay? That is a very, very important message for divine feminines. And this is the trials and tribulations of a high priestess. Okay? You wouldn't go through these trials and tribulations if you weren't on the path to be a divine feminine. So the trials and tribulations that a divine feminine will go through to come into her priestesshood is going through the trials and tribulations of discerning through illusions. For real. This is where you're being reborn here. And this is what is testing your commitment level right now. Are you going to be a high priestess and learn how to cut through to the other side and to be able to see beyond the veil of illusions to the truth, like the true high priestess does? This is what you guys are being called to look at right now in the truth. And the angels are saying, may you have the clarity of a vision to accept the truth and act with justice, speak with honesty. You have that voice, divine feminine. This is the power of the ancient ministry. This is the ancient mysteries of the feminine power. The words you sing, what you write, you speak for, or you stand for symbolically. You have the healing voice, and you're being guided to recognize the responsibility that you have for what you proclaim through your voice. This is what they're telling you. If you claim to be a divine feminine and you're on the path, this is what you must know about the divine masculine collective. This is what you need to know about your true divine masculine. If you proclaim that your divine masculine is divine, but he is not acting the part and he's not even moving toward it, you need to recognize the responsibility that you have through your own voice and through your own power, and use your discernment to truly figure it out for yourselves. There's a lot of shit that you guys need to release. The divine masculine needs to release this as well, that cartouche energy. releasing that which would lower your vibrations into fear. And some of you guys are staying stuck and stagnant in these relationships, and I'll call you all out, divine masculines and feminines alike. You guys are staying in these relationships that no longer serve you anymore out of fear. You don't want to face the truth, but Archangel Michael is saying it's time. It's time to face the truth. Because if you guys want balance of your lives, you guys got to cut out. You guys got to cut out the third party bullshit. You guys got to learn to see through what third party bullshit really is, guys. Instead of, yeah, there's that devil energy again. It's keeping the lovers trapped and stagnant in the same repetitive cycles. I've been watching collective readings very heavily from multiple different sides for the last year. And there was a reason why I was being called to mission. My mission is to bust through the bullshit. My mission is to help you guys get to the truth and get to the naked truth of the matter. I'm not going to steer you down a left-handed path of some bullshit right now. I've known since I woke up, when I started waking up 8 years ago, when I started really coming into my power, when I really started to understand this journey. This was before I knew I was a twin flame, but when I was really being awakened and I was really interfacing with multidimensional beings from multiple different dimensions, guys. This was one of the hardest lessons that I learned in the first year, is that a lot of energies will try to sway you off your path. Being a light worker and being a medium itself, you're like a fucking open target for lower level energies. Especially if you're a twin flame and you're on a fucking mission to help other people come together, and when you come into contact with other star seeds that quite haven't been activated yet, I know for a fact that that my mission, when I come into physical contact, or when I come into any kind of communicative relations with other people, especially if these people are star seeds, I trigger their awakenings. And I've known that that's a part of my journey for a long time. I've also had the capability of interfacing with multidimensional beings for a very long time, and I know very deeply, just like the rest of you guys that are on the spiritual journey, you guys know very fucking deeply what it means for us to need to combat these lower level energies within ourselves. We know how important it is. And we also know that Morningstar is the master, that he's the master of illusions. Okay? This is what Lucifer has taught us. He is the master of illusions. And the greatest thing that we have to overcome on our path to ascension is waking up and seeing beyond the veil and seeing through the illusions. This is the lesson of every high priestess. Okay? So, in order to manifest a happy union, what's going on with the truth here in meditation? I want clarification. Okay, so the truth is about leaving. It's really about, in a nutshell, the truth that's being revealed here is to actually relieve you guys of the anxiety that you're feeling stuck in these situations, trapped in fear. Guys, being codependent, this devil energy, this bitch ass, hoe ass, bitch ass, hoe ass, devil energy, man. And yes, I'm channeling Hank and Henry. Forgive me. I love that dude. Anyway, it's time to take initiative, Divine Feminines. The Ace of Wands is here to help you move forward, okay? This is what we need in order to bring balance. You need the spark of life, guys, to get out of this fucking stuck and trapped bitch ass, hoe ass, bitch ass, hoe ass energy for the next week. I'm going to touch on the Ace of Wands right quick. Because it's in relation. This is helping you propel forward to bring in this balance, relieve the anxiety, bring in the balance with the Six of Pentacles. This Ace of Wands energy, like, I always get the sense that The angelic influence of this card is about like spirit really truly putting his masculine power in helping you with the energy of the sun here. I really feel like this is more of a sun energy. Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. The Aries energy right now is right now affecting divine feminines to help them truly move into balance, to truly release this fear within the ego, because it's seriously keeping her stuck. And I feel like a lot of divine feminines are looking at the wrong masculines. They're looking at masculines from the wrong perspective. This is what's keeping the divine feminine collective stuck, you know, especially for those that haven't come into union yet. We need to release our control issues. We need to release we need to release that energy, because our divine counterparts, they're doing the work just like we are. And I feel like a lot of us we're still looking at those distorted masculines, you know, the distorted masculines that are stubborn and stuck and they don't want to move forward on the journey. We're so stuck on that energy that we're not actually seeing the true divine masculines that are truly working on themselves and truly trying to come forward. I feel like we're totally ignoring them. We're totally ignoring their existence. We're totally blocking them from moving toward us, because we're looking at other motherfuckers, and we've got other motherfuckers in our energy that shouldn't be there. And I'm getting messages from the my fifth dimensional divine masculine. He's told me months and months and months ago that the divine masculine collective does not want to move toward a divine feminine while she still has another masculine energy attached to her. And it's not out of a low vibrational feeling coming from the 5D masculines, that are trying to come forward through these energies, especially to people that channel them. The divine masculine's been screaming to the entire collective, and I'm surprised that no other readers have really touched on it before. And it's the fact of the matter is that they're screaming to the divine feminines that, you know, the divine masculine side of things, like what they want from the divine feminine is to cut out all of these other energies that don't belong. And it's for her own protection. It's not out of jealousy or envy or spite. It's because the divine masculine really feels a sense of protection over the divine feminine. Like he would fucking kill for her. He would die for her. Like the twins in the 5D protect each other. They love each other. They're one with each other. And you have to understand, divine feminines, through your discernment, this is the mystery that everyone is fighting so hard to understand. And the answers are right there in front of you. You guys are fighting so hard to understand this shit, but the answers are right in front of you guys. Right in front of you. This is so fucking deep, guys. Sorry, I have to take a pause for a second. Just to breathe. Okay, so aces will show the okay, in the ace of this suit, the ace of wands, the triangle stands for 3, the number of elemental strength and divine power. An upright triangle is also a symbol of fire. That Aries energy. At the top of the card, you have the creator, the great creator. God, in the form of a man, reaches down with his powerful wand to create the universe. This is the Big Bang, the initial monumental creative spark. Creative spark for inspiration, the thing that propels someone to take action, motivated, energized, and stimulated, starting something exciting and new. The reverse meaning, and I'm gonna go ahead and just give you guys the shadow meaning of this card too, because it will pertain to this reading. This is about the misdirection of energy. May you be blessed with the spirit, drive, and strength to do marvelous things. Okay, but I feel like in this case, this energy, this creative energy coming in. This is to help the divine feminine see through that misdirection of energy, because over here you have the Ace of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords as well. This is about thought. This is about, you know, thinking and resonating with what you see, guys. Resonating with what the hell is going on in your true north right now. How the angels are guiding you to your to your true north. And they're really truly trying to give you that energy of being blessed and empowered, and to give you that strength to do this marvelous thing that you think you can't do right now, because you're stuck in that energy of codependency, and you're stuck in that energy of wanting to control the outcome. What you guys don't understand is that if you guys are stuck in this energy where you're looking at the wrong masculine, what you don't understand is that the warrior that spirit's trying to bring into you is somebody that's going to heal you, love you, protect you in ways that you never even fathomed possible, guys. And all of that lack energy that you guys are feeling while you're looking at these distorted masculines, and whether you should or should not move away from them. I don't know how many times you guys have to get the confirmation through spirit that you guys are not in alignment, you know, and I'll just leave it there. I don't know how many times you guys have gotten the message from the great creator that you guys are that you're not in alignment. Okay. This is really one of those energies where Gabriel, the archangel, is saying that if you guys are having such a hard time walking away from this stuff that you know no longer serves you anymore, he's going to be that initiator to move you out of it regardless. It's going to happen. The devastation is going to come with the tower. You already know that. I think you've already seen it in your lives before. I think you've already felt that energy repeating itself multiple times. But if you would go back into your childlike innocence in order to free yourselves of this energy where you are trapping the wrong masculine and you are trapping yourselves and you're not allowing your true divine masculines to come in, you guys got to celebrate from your childlike self and let this shit go, because it no longer serves you. Whatever arrangements you need to make to move forward, you need to make them. How else are you going to come out of that third party energy bullshit instead of watching your divine masculine repeat the same mistakes? And you're not coming into union with your true DM, guys. And this is why you're stuck on that third party bullshit. When you're thinking the divine masculine is stuck on his third party bullshit, you're stuck on your third party bullshit too. And just leave it up to Michael, okay, while he's out here energetically fighting all of our battles for us. You got to know that angel spirits will not hesitate to tell you about yourself. Speaking from personal experience here. They truly are pious, guys. Just because they are love and light beings, it doesn't mean they don't have something to say, especially when they are energetically putting themselves in the position to help us for the highest good. They're going to tell us when we're fucking up. They're going to tell us when we're not listening to the right messages. They're going to tell us when we're not listening to ourselves. They're going to tell us when we're not listening to them. And they're going to damn sure tell us when the truth is there right in front of your face and you don't want to acknowledge it. Oh, they're going to remind you. They're going to remind us through every test of our commitment. Truly. So anyway, about the Three of Cups. They're trying to bring in a time of celebration in your life. Divine Feminine. They don't want to watch you have tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. Watching you go through devastation after devastation after devastation and never truly being able to come into alignment with your true divinity. Three of Cups. Confirmation. You want to move you around here? All right. Yes, they're trying to bring you into union with your lover. Happy times are coming. They want you to have happy times. The message of spirit in this card of the Eight of Wands. This is the second time it's been at the bottom of the deck. Shuffling through this reading. So I believe that with these two cards here, this is bringing us to the finality of our message here. I'm going to go ahead and read Three of Cups. So this is representing the power of three, separate forces coming together, which is here. You have the power of three. With the triangle and great creator. Power of three with Three of Cups. The three women holding hands and dancing have an emotional connection with one another, moving together with ease. They embody friendship and the good feelings that come with it. The card that alludes the idea is that a relationship between three people has its own unique dynamic. The power of three is also reinforced as the angels join the women's good time together. Okay, so Divine Feminine, this could be also about you, relying more on your soul tribe right now to get through these transformations and to these understandings and understandings. Friendship is also the key to the relationship with your divine masculine as well. This is about being a part of community, friendship, having good times with friends, strength as a result of bonding with others, being able to rely on allies. You will truly be able to rely on your divine masculine, guys. When your divine masculine comes into your life, you will truly be able to rely on each other. There will be cheers to your friendship, and you will find joy and support in the fellowship of others. But this is also how you attract your divine masculine to you. This is how you guys attract each other. And divine masculine, this goes to you too. Like, this is a message to you too, as well, if you guys are cross watching. Okay, so masculine energy that may be watching for the divine feminines right now. If you truly want to attract a divine feminine energy, you must release these things in your own dynamics, guys. And, when you come into union with your true divine feminine, she's going to give you that support of true friendship. You guys, divine feminines, when you guys are coming into union with your true divine masculines, you guys are going to have that supportive feeling of friendship there. And it's going to be true and it's going to be genuine. The energy that the two of you guys share is going to be ecstatic. Okay. It's going to be undescribable, unlike any other. Okay. And so with the Lover's card here to clarify with that Three of Cups, the Archangel Shamuel, okay, is residing above the Lovers here. That's Archangel Shamuel. This is the angel who comforted Adam and Eve after they were expelled from the Garden of Eden. He is primarily known to help people have peaceful relationships with one another. Adam and Eve, essentially, the Adam and Eve story is about self awareness, maturity, and a choice, free will. At the beginning of the story, Adam and Eve live naked in the Garden of Eden. They live naked in the Garden of Eden. There's no death or suffering. There is no shame about nudity. They're allowed to eat from all the trees except for one, the tree of knowledge, the good and evil. Eve notices how attractive the forbidden fruit looks and looks like the idea of gaining wisdom. She takes the fruit and eats it. Adam is present and eats some too. They immediately know not to just intellectually, but through experience, they did something wrong. They suddenly became aware of their nudity. They promptly cover their genitals with fig leaves. Understanding the difference between right and wrong, good and evil, allows us to choose how to behave, which distinguishes us from animals that act on involuntary instincts. Mature adults are aware of the consequences of their actions and are responsible for choices that they make. After eating the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve were in a state of childhood. Afterwards, they are adults with all the pain, burden, and choice that encompasses. When Adam and Eve cover themselves with fig leaves, they have become aware of female and male, no longer seeing themselves as simply human. They're separate, not only from the rest of creation, but also from each other. The relationship aspect of the Lover's card is often viewed as the main feature of the card, and as a Bible story continues, God provides framework for male and female roles. After the transgression, God banishes the couple from Eden. Adam must toil the hard earth for sustenance. Eve will endure the painful childbirth and be ruled over by her husband. Archaic, yes, but it does denote traditional roles that have been with us throughout history. Women stay at home and raise children, men go to work and reap the benefits, and provide what is needed for the family to survive. The direct meaning to this card is choice, the consequences of choice and the responsibility it brings. Duality, the contrasting differences between two things, people, and situations. Duality and similarities. A left shoe differs from a right shoe, but in essence, they are both shoes. Men differ from women, but they are both human beings. Finding harmony in duality. Seeing yourself in the other, male, female roles, the relationship between men and women. So, the shadow meaning is strict adherence to gender roles, unable to see yourself in the other, and seeing things as either or constantly making comparisons. So, if you guys are in relationships where you're constantly comparing them to other people, or you're comparing yourselves to others, and if you are just completely and flat out unable to see yourself in this other person, it's not your person. The angelic message for this card is, may you gain a greater understanding of your personal values by examining the choices that you've made. So some of you guys are really wholeheartedly examining the choices of whether or not you are actually in energetic sequence with your divine masculines, your true divine masculines. Some of you are not. Some of you guys are stuck within the illusion. And the messengers are here to let you guys know that. If you're not in it energetically aligned, if you're moving forward and the other person that you are with, you really truly need to go within and discern right now. You really need to remove all intellectual, emotional blockages at this point in time right now. There is a true need for balance within the divine feminine energies. Going back to that message about a transgression and the banishment of Adam and Eve and how they must toil, how the divine masculine has to toil for sustenance on the earth, because he's more focused on the 3D aspect of things, how he can maybe miss the energy of the divine feminine as well. So this is why divine masculines are stuck with karmics. This is also why divine feminines are in the energy also of being stuck with karmics and not even knowing it. And why you're watching your karmic masculines go through the same like symptoms of a divine masculine. It's because the divine masculines are also blocked in energy as well by these lower vibrational beings. And I say that way because I don't really like to refer to human beings as karmic people, but this is how you guys, as priestess energies or you know, divine feminines on your path to ascension, you have to understand wholeheartedly the difference between a karmic soul, a divine soul, and a soulmate soul. Like that you guys come into, communication with on your journeys. There's a heavy difference between karmic soulmates and um, you know, God sent soulmates. God sent soulmates are to help you heal, and you can part ways with these people. Twin flame souls are entirely different. You're two halves of the same soul. But for this is a message for the twin flames. Why you guys aren't coming to union? Why you guys are having a harder time coming into union? A lot of you guys are looking toward the divine masculines like they're stuck in karmic situations, but you don't understand. A lot of you guys, a lot of you divine feminines are stuck in karmic situations yourself, and that's why things are not moving forward. It's because you're not using your discernment. Because there are certain truths about some of these people that you guys are not wanting to face, and that's the truth of the matter. Um, but this message is to help you guys remove the blockages and to see through your own discernment, to help you guys clear out these energies that need to be released. The message of the Eight of Wands. This is going to be the last message before I move on to the last message of the karma cards, and I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly. But like I said, I made a mistake in the Divine Masculine video when I pulled the karma cards, and I didn't read the full-on definitions of each card, which were really important and imperative to the Divine Masculine collective. But it's actually coming out in this read with the Divine Feminines because it needed to come out either way tonight. So we've got the Eight of Wands here. The Eight of Wands is about messages. It's about recognizing limitations. The number 8 is about recognizing limitations and either moving past them or staying within their boundaries. So the angel is about the messenger. The horse holds a wand in its mouth. It's about horsepower. So without the saddle or bridle, they gallop forward unrestricted. They represent unconstrained energy, movement, and speed. Speed, fast action, quick energy, unrestricted activity and movement going forward without regulations or constraints. There are no obstacles blocking the way, so go for it. Be free, independent, liberated. This is breaking news, and this is a timely message. So if you're seeing this message, when you're seeing this message, it's your time to see this message. You needed to see this message when you saw it. So this is all that, about how, these energy readings, these readings are going to be timeless, guys. So whenever you click on and get the message, it's when you were meant to. So the shadow meaning of this card, I like to read the shadow meanings as well because, it kind of gives you that energy if some of you guys aren't in that energy to move forward. So some of you guys are actually in the shadows right now. The aimless action or movement without purpose and doing something without considering the consequences. So it's just kind of getting you to look at both sides of the spectrum because you guys are going through this rebirthing process. New beginnings have to happen. This is the Queen of Swords energy. That's what that's all about. Being truthful, being honest with yourselves, even when you don't want to be. There are certain things that you don't want to see because you don't want to see them. It's only prohibiting you from moving forward. So it's really about removing those obstacles and releasing that energy so that you can be unrestricted. Okay. And you'll also find that when you guys start to clear out some of these energies, shit moves in pretty fast. So while you guys pine in separation, or when you pine over this energy over an unhealed masculine, some of you guys might actually, clearing out some of this shit and clearing out some of these masculines that you're having to fake it until you make it through. It's saying that if you move away from some of that shit and you accept the truth and you move forward from it, then pretty swiftly your divine masculine could really come swooping through. Like, hey, what's up, girl? It could be somebody you've never met before, It could be somebody that you've already established, a very strong bond with. Somebody that it has truly shown you throughout time and space that they're there for you, that they would not ever abandon you, that they would help you grow. You know, a lot of people that we meet, guys, we have to understand the differences between soulmates. That's why I mentioned that earlier. Is we have to truly discern that, we all have different levels of soulmates in our lives. This is a part of the journey. And when we get stuck on a soulmate that we're meant to release, and they're not our divine counterpart, when we stay stuck with a soulmate that we're meant to release and they're not our divine counterpart, it's going to create a situation of stagnancy for you. And you wonder why things are not moving forward. That's exactly why they're not going to move forward and why they haven't. It's because this situation has timed itself out and you guys are being divinely guided to release it, and you're not wanting to face the truth about it. So I really feel bad for some of you guys that this is going to like open you up wide. It may trigger you at first, but you guys can actually stick through the message, and this message is meant for you. It's meant to clear out that energy of feeling stuck and stagnant. It's meant to move you forward, because it's time to be unrestricted. It's time to live vicariously through your inner child and resurrect that part of you, uh, where you're not stuck and stagnant. Because you got to remember, happier times. You know, even if this is for you guys with those, persons dynamics, twin flames or whatever, where you guys having to come into union and you've gone into separation, and now you guys are going through the trials and tribulations to come back into separation. Now there is a message for you guys too. This is, all of that illusionary energy wasn't for everyone. That was for some people, though. That was for, you know, I hate to say it, but more of you than I would like to admit are in that energy where you're looking at the wrong masculine. But some of you are in that dynamic where you have come together, you have gone into separation, and now you guys are doing the healing and you're alchemizing shit. But you have to know that you're divine masculine. Still, it's a message. You have to know that your divine masculines are going to love you just as unconditionally as you love them. And even if they have been in third party situations, you've been in third party situations too. And if you have the divine acknowledgement to understand why you have the different level of soulmates on your journey and what their purpose is for, then you have to allow the divine masculine his growth, just like you have had to be allowed your time of growth as well. You got to be fair. Okay, so may you always know your limits, especially when there are none holding you back. So if you think there are limitations to what you can do right now, Divine Feminine, Spirit is here to tell you you're wrong. Okay? This is where we have to swallow our pride, Divine Feminines. We don't like to admit when we're wrong. And this is the problem that a lot of masculines have with us, and that we need to acknowledge if we ever want to have healthy unions, not only with our divine masculines, but with the people around us, with our family, our loved ones, and even our friends. If we want to celebrate happy times with other people around us, we have to understand these things, and we have to implement them in our own lives. Okay? So we're going to move on to the Karma cards. I'm going to get a message from Karma herself. Okay? We have the energy of Jupiter here, the granting of blessings from good fortune. The action of the Jupiter card is to learn or teach, be positive about, grow, and expand. Okay, so right here, this is how we're going to move forward. I'm going to pull an energy from the houses. We're going to find out what's going on in the signs, okay, as well. The energy of the signs is about your beliefs and the costs of your beliefs to use them for the most and the most direct way. Okay, the resources to maintain the practicality of things resulting from the productivity of your actions. All right, so it's the granting of resources to maintain blessings and practicality. All right, so what do we have from the houses? Okay, we have the 12th house for the divine feminine. So, okay, here we have the granting of resources to maintain your faith, blessings from hidden tendencies in the hidden blessings from the practicality of hidden tendencies. Okay, so good fortune resulting from the productivity of large institutions or overwhelming events. This is about you guys being able to implement your divine creational thoughts into institutions or communities around you guys. This is like you're the leading lady, divine feminine. Time to get out into the open and give back to the community. Implement your power and your gifts in large institutions, or become a part of overwhelming events, to help turn the vibration of the planet in a positive sense. This is where you're being turned at in your lives. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to read the energy of Jupiter right quick, because I should have done this in the masculine read, but, lessons learned. I might even actually start implementing these karma cards at the end of the Naked Truth videos. I kind of like it. I decided to try something new tonight, guys. We also have the number 4. We're also at the number 4 video, which is like I've been channeling the number 4 energy. This is really about, unions happening this year, guys. Union is happening. This is about union energy as well, like wholeheartedly. Okay, so the symbol shows half the circle, symbolizing that both intellectual and emotional halves of the polarized individual's soul are connected to the right arm facing us. Of the cross of matter, this symbolizes the energies of the planet Jupiter, in which there is a useful and harmonious connection between the individualized soul and the material universe. The soul knows that abundance is its birthright, and Jupiter symbolizes this abundance. Saturn is also anchored in the material world, but Jupiter can be seen as the skyhook that connects us with what we want, using the knowledge that we're going to get what we desire because we should have it. Some people call that luck. It's not surprising that the word jovial is derived from Jove, the Roman word Jupiter. When lucky people act, they have all the answers, and the bragging, exaggerated aspects of Jupiter rears its ugly head. So I get that this is a message to some divine feminines that might be saying, or some feminines that might be saying, well, I have my divine masculine, and you're bragging about all these things that you have, but you might want to not be so vain, because you could be wrong. It's time for you to get in tune and search for the understanding of the human conditions, laws, religions, philosophies, as well as the teachings and the dissemination of the subjects through publishing and broadcasting. So this is about pride. If you guys are too prideful, the search of different approaches of life leads to foreign travel. So influenced by Jupiter, the lucky, jovial, philosophical person may go overboard in enjoyment of the finer things in life and become a real high liver. It's no wonder that Jupiter is said to rule the liver, as well as the blood, veins, and arteries. Okay, so this is about expansion enlarging, increasing, developing, achieving, integration, encouragement, prosperity, jovial, positive outlooks, luck, wealth, generosity. The purpose of this life is to grow and expand and experience knowledge and understanding. This is true for everything in this world and all other worlds. The warning of this card is to remember it has been said that there were two messages over the entrance of the oracle at Delphi in ancient Greece: know thyself and nothing in excess. All right. Whew. Okay, so we're going to move on to the House of Taurus now. We're going to find out what the message of Taurus is for you guys in karma. And then I'm going to wrap this up. So we've got the 12th house. I'm going to go ahead and mark my place there. All right. Sorry, guys. The signs. We're trying to get the signs here. Zodiac. So we have, Taurus. The bull. The head of the bull. When the sun entered the sign of Taurus, people started harnessing their oxen. Slowly, methodically, they plowed the earth into beautiful and practical rows, planted the seeds they had prudently saved from the previous year. How well they had planned and saved their resources from the past year determined the production of the new year. They prayed for fertility as the warmer weather allowed them to enjoy the sensuous sights and sounds and smells of a reawakening earth. Like planet Earth, Taurus is productive, strong, dependable, patient, slow, practical, generous, and when treated well and stubbornly furious when pushed too far. The parts of the body ruled by Taurus are the neck and the throat. It rules the voice, which is funny because the divine feminine has the power to exercise her voice over humanity. And for the fact that when she's in a positive frequency, she can spread love and light and nurturing energy to those around her. But when in a negative energy, she can exact destruction upon the things that are around her. So she could be like order and chaos all in one. The great goddess Kali, the goddess of destruction, comes to mind. People born during the time of Taurus function best through the concentration and stubborn adherence to a preconceived plan. So pretty soon we're going to be coming into Taurus season. But during Taurus season, I have a feeling a lot of things are going to begin to solidify for the Divine Feminine Collective. So that might be a message of positivity in looking forward to Taurus season coming up for the Divine Feminine. Okay, so in the 12th house, it derives its meaning from that of the first house. The first house represents the outer you and how you project yourself into the world. The 12th house is even more personal. So it represents the inner you and how you don't want to project yourself into the world. The first house is the you that you want to be known as, while the 12th house is the you that you don't want to be known. So because this energy is in the 12th house, Divine Feminine, a lot of you guys, this is facing, it's getting you to face what you don't want to face. Traditional astrologers are calling the house of secret fears, the house of the 12th house, the house of secret fears, secret enemies, and our self-undoing. The origin of this is obvious. Any person who is not aware that we all have self-doubt in our personality, to make matters worse, who dwells too much on their own self-doubts, acts in a weakened, self-defeating manner that creates suspicious enemies along the way. This does not mean that every person with the planet in the 12th house has to act in such manner. It does indicate that there is an added, unusually hidden dimension in this person's personality, the exact nature of which is symbolized by the qualities associated with this planet. The 12th house has come to be associated with all things that tend to negate or your ego. Some religious and other large institutions in which individuals have only a small part, such as government, the military, large corporations, hospitals, and prisons, are 12th house matters. It rules the studio rather than the stage, the emphasis, the need for privacy. Since the horizon line divides the first and 12th houses, a person born with the sun in the 12th house would be born just after sunrise, a quiet, gentle and beautiful time. But this could also be described as the perfect time for all solitary pursuits, especially for meditation, which got brought up in the divine feminine energy. The divine feminine energy really needs to meditate right now on what her solitary pursuits need to be. So it's a time when all things are united in the process of transition between worlds and from the worlds of darkness into light. So anything that you guys have been trying to keep in the dark, it's coming to the light now. Anything that you haven't wanted to face within the truth, in the aspects of the truth, they're coming to light. You have no choice but to face them right now, divine feminine. So this faith unites us with all there is and makes us the willing to forgive and sacrifice, adding the concept of charity. As a result of this association with the first light of day, the 12th house also symbolizes the early years of life, which is why you have the Six of Cups here. Many psychologists consider these years crucial to later life, and in many therapies are designed to increase awareness of that time. The sign and planets associated to our 12th house can symbolize the major theme of those early years and provide insights to the nature of effect on later life. So the 12th house is ruled by the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Okay, so that message that I basically just pulled from those cards were basically about the fact that this is where the divine feminine really needs to release these energies, because it's really divine time. And it's really getting you to reflect on, in certain connections that you guys need to release, what part, what what needs to come up in childhood energy for you guys to actually heal, for you guys to release these energies that are no longer serving you anymore. Releasing the illusions that have developed out of the distortions, which is why some of you guys are actually holding on to these third party situations that you need to release. The only thing that I can gather from that is that when you do release them, the granting of blessings come with good fortune. So I'm going to put together the final message for you guys. So they're granting resources for you. The spirit is granting you resources to maintain your faith right now. Blessings from hidden tendencies are coming into practicality at this moment. Large institutions or overwhelming events could result from the productivity of your good fortune, which means if you guys have negative past histories with institutions, large institutions, or places that have hosted overwhelming events for you, maybe this is something that divine feminines need to heal within their energy right now in order to receive good fortune from the productivity of what's taken place. Okay, so in the action of the cards, you have the energy that it's about seeking oneness with all there is, with your beliefs in learning or teaching. Be positive about philanthropy and the costs of philanthropy. If you guys don't know what philanthropy means, it's about philosophy, the philosophy of human nature. Okay, philanthropy. I do believe I was. Man, am I channeling this right? Hold on. I know what anthropology is. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get it. Philanthropy. A person who seeks to a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Okay, so if you guys are wanting to start non-profit organizations, this would be a message to you that the costs of philanthropy, if you guys are trying to start a philanthropist's adventure, be positive about it. It's time to grow and expand. So it's time to keep your involvement hidden with some people, um, but use your growth and expansion in the most direct way and keep your involvement quiet. Okay, so it means don't boast necessarily. If you guys are giving to nonprofit organizations or you have started your own, don't boast about that. You're being warned by spirit to kind of humble yourselves a little bit more. Um, there's I think divine feminines and people might be getting a little too big for their britches here. That might be a message from spirit. To say don't count your chickens before they hatch because nothing's set in stone. So in order to grow and expand, you guys really need to come out of this energy of boasting about what it is that you do for the public. Okay. Um, Spirit just asks you to do it and you'll be rewarded. It's not for you to boast about it. Okay, divine feminines. So it's just kind of reminding you guys to come back down to earth a little bit um during this time right now. Okay. So it's time for you guys to blossom. It's time for you guys to use this fertile period of your life um, to think of yourself as a creative being and surrender your control over how things will manifest instead and allow them to just do so. Don't resist the change, guys. Go with the flow and let it happen because now it's time for you to blossom. Okay, it's time for you to blossom. And it's also time for you guys to release that which the shit that lowers your vibrations, and boasting is one of those things. Holding on to shit that no longer serves you is one of those things. Ignoring your own divine guidance and intuition when you know that you need to release a certain person, place, or thing. You guys cannot keep sweeping shit under the rugs. Your oracles, your messengers, your spirit guides are reminding you to honor the power of your voice, honor the power of honor yourself, honor your ancestors, honor the journey right now, honor the divine masculine as well. You guys want to put him in such a lower vibrational energy that you wind up doing it to yourselves, and this is where you guys need to admit that you're not entirely right. So divine feminines, remember to stay humble because you're the flower of life, and it's your duty and it's your responsibility to teach others how to love and nurture themselves. Okay, so I strongly feel like this was you guys' message of the naked truth tonight. Um, I want to wish you guys love and light on your journeys. I want to thank you and welcome you and appreciate you for joining my channel. And if you haven't subscribed and if you liked my readings, please hit the notification bell. You'll get notified every time I go live, every time I post a new video. If you guys want to book personal readings with me, you can find me at Facebook under the name Brandy Dye. You can find me on Instagram at under the name of brandinimojo 13 at Instagram.com. You guys can message me on Facebook. You can also message me at my email address, which is pearllucy13 at gmail.com. So again, if you guys want to know what my services are, a majority of them are listed in the description box below. And again, I wanted to thank you guys for joining me tonight. And until next week, guys, I want to send you guys love and light in transmission.